Pokemon cards are no strangers to sudden price spikes and wild surges, and it's easy for new collectors to get caught up. That's why in today's video I'm going to break down 4 more of the biggest mistakes that investors can make and how you can avoid them. At first it might seem odd that there are mistakes that can be made in what's meant to be a fun hobby, but the truth is there are lots of lessons that can be learned when it comes to collectibles. What starts out as a light-hearted pastime can turn into something really overwhelming if you're not careful. So in this video, I'll walk you through the pitfalls so you don't have to make these mistakes yourself. Trust me, I've made every single mistake on this list. So think of this video as a little shortcut on how to avoid them. The amazing thing about reading, watching or learning from people with real experience is that you can essentially download their lessons without having to actually go through the pain of it yourself. And this is exactly what I hope this video will be for you. Think about it, Pokemon collecting has gone through major changes in just the last year alone. And I believe that we'll see many more changes in the future. So the timing for some of these lessons probably couldn't be any better. So the first mistake here is not paying attention to card quality. Years ago, simply owning the card was enough, but these days, condition and quality are absolutely everything when you're trying to buy a card. The difference between a raw copy and a PSA 10 or lots of other grading companies, to be honest, in value can be really big. So even the smallest nick, slash or bend in a card can dramatically drop the price of that card. And a lot of beginners just buy the cheaper flawed cards just so they can own that card. But let's be honest, long term that's usually quite a poor investment, if that's what you're buying the card for at least. The best approach is to buy the highest quality card that you can afford. And even if you're not wanting to grade the card right now, it might be something that you wanted to do in the future. And if you know that you've bought a really poor quality card just so you can have the card, and you're going to hold on for it for a long time, and you're thinking, oh, maybe I might get it graded in the future. Well, if you know you've just bought the cheap, poor quality card, what's the point in that? And if that card then grades well, you've not only just preserved its value, but you've exponentially increased it for the future. For expensive cards, the phrase, buy nice or buy it twice really does apply. And the second trap I really want to highlight is buying into whatever's hype at that moment. It's tempting to get it, especially when everyone's really hyped about this new card or this new set. I think it's Mega Evolution at the moment that people are really getting hyped for, coming out in a few days. It might be out when this video is out, to be honest. I'm not sure exactly when this video will release. But that's a really quick way to lose money. But it's one of the fastest ways to overspend. When a card suddenly spikes in price, it might be your first instinct to think, I need to get this card now before it goes up anymore. But here's the skill that a lot of us still need to develop and find really hard. Sometimes you just need to take a step back, wait and see where that card goes. More often than not, hype-driven price jumps often come straight back down. Market buyouts, manipulation, or simply fear of not being able to get the card in case the price goes up does increase the price, and generally it's only temporary and the price will come down slowly, or maybe not back to its original value but enough so that it's cheaper for you to buy again, especially once demand for it cools. And a great example of this was Prismatic Evolutions. If you think about it, when that set first released, people were going absolutely crazy and people were buying the cards and the sealed product for absolutely insane prices. And fast forward just a few months, a lot of those evolution cards have probably dropped in value by almost half and have become a lot more affordable. And in fact now, some are at their lowest price ever. Singles at the minute are actually extremely volatile to buy, whereas sealed product, because it's the one thing that actually becomes more rare as more people open product, very slowly increases in value over time. But with singles, patience often pays off. This one's less of a mistake and more of just a reminder. Don't lose sight of why you got into collecting in the first place. For most of us, it started with excitement, the joy of pulling cards, filling up binders and celebrating those small wins when you open up that pack that you've been opening up for a while and you get that chase card that you've been looking for. But over time, it's easy to shift your focus to money in market value rather than the excitement of the cards. And when that happens, the hobby generally becomes less fun and starts to get a lot more stressful. One way to keep the passion alive is to collect based on what you genuinely love rather than what you think is the next big thing. That could mean chasing your favourite Pokemon, certain artists or specific themes. And yes, chase cards are rewarding, but setting yourself those little goals can be just as rewarding anyway. But of course the financial side matters too, and Pokemon these days is a very expensive hobby. But balance is key. Don't just enjoy the end game, what you've got, enjoy the journey of how you got there. And if you want to share your journey with others, comment below on why you started your journey and why it's still exciting for you, and what are you looking for as a collector. And the last big mistake is trying to chase cards or product that you've already missed out on. Because here's the truth, there's always another opportunity. When Evolving Skies was the hot set, people claimed that it was never going to be topped. Then came 151, then came Prismatic Evolutions, then came Destined Rivals, and now everyone's going mad for the new Mega Evolution era. And every single time people seem to call it the peak of Pokemon. But the reality is, every new generation brings new opportunities. Because spending too much time chasing all the sets often means that you're going to be overspending in the long run. Try not to do it too quickly if that's what you are trying to do. Instead, just focus on the long game. The hobby isn't going to be going anywhere, and new sets are going to release new chase cards and new grails that you can go after. So to wrap up, what does the long game in Pokemon really look like? What does it look like for you? Please let me know. And if you found this breakdown helpful, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click on some of the other videos where I share my insight into different sides of Pokemon collecting. And I'll see you in the next one.